Hello, I'm going to briefly talk about 5 more AI apps which discuss which day is the Bible Sabbath. I've already looked at Chat GPT, Grok, and Gemini, and I Googled on Chat GPT for the most popular apps, and within the top 5 or 10, 5 others came up. Okay, so first of all, Poe.com said that the Bible Sabbath is traditionally, to quote directly, traditionally observed on Saturday. This is rooted in the biblical account of creation. God rested on the seventh day. In Jewish tradition, Saturday is recognized as a Sabbath, a day of rest and worship. In Christianity, some denominations have shifted the observance of Sunday, viewing it as a day of Christ's resurrection, but Saturday remains the original biblical Sabbath. Okay, and Microsoft Copilot. The Bible Sabbath is consistently described as the seventh day of the week, which corresponds to Saturday in the modern calendar. Historically, early Christians kept the seventh-day Sabbath as well, though many later shifted their main worship gathering to Sunday for theological and historical reasons. That shift, however, is not in bold. It's described in the Bible itself. Okay, so absolutely clear, saying that it's the change is not from the Bible; it's a tradition of man, not of a commandment of God. And then Perplexity.ai said in the Bible, the Sabbath is the seventh day of the week, quoting, which corresponds to what we now call a Saturday, from the fourth commandment, going back to creation, blah 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 blah. And then to quote the end, so if your question is strictly what day is the Bible Sabbath, the biblical Sabbath itself is the seventh day, Saturday, from sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. And then Claude Anthropic, the Bible Sabbath is Saturday, the seventh day of the week. And then, so while quoting directly, so while Christians' practices vary, the biblical Sabbath, as established in Scripture, is Saturday, the seventh day of the week. And then finally, Deepseek, chat.deepseek.com. Biblically and historically, the Sabbath is Saturday, Friday evening to Saturday evening. And to quote directly, therefore, to answer your question directly, the Bible's Sabbath is Saturday, but most Christians worship on Sunday based on New Testament precedent and the significance of the resurrection. Okay, and okay, so I think I hope you'd agree that overall, it's very clear that these apps are saying that it's Friday evening to Saturday evening. There can be tradition or whatever, but essentially the Bible is very clear which day it is, and the Bible does say, it's better to follow the commandments of God than the traditions of men. So that's not to judge, of course, anyone who goes to church on Sunday. They may be, extremely well-meaning, salt of the earth, heaven-bound, or whatever. However, God knows their characters, so and who they really are. However, that's kind of if people know which day is the correct day, and if they believe that we should be keeping the Ten Commandments, then I'd encourage you to follow as per what all the apps have basically said, 8 now, that it's Friday evening to Saturday evening. And a church that does it is the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which I go to, and you can Google your local Seventh-day Adventist Church. Obviously, you don't have to necessarily go to that church, but I recommend going there. It has lots of good doctrines, and you can kind of see if you agree with everything that's still there. Okay, so I hope that's of interest, and thank you very much. And if you have any questions about this topic, please write in the chat. Okay, I wish you a nice day. Bye.